So things are starting to shake out where we can really start to see the contenders, the pretenders, and some teams that are really trying to rise up and crack some of these top tiers. Let's start with Tier 1. For this week, these are the teams that are looking like Final Four teams. Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova, and Kansas. The Zags are clearly the team to beat in the country, knocking off Iowa and South Dakota last week. Baylor missed out on that chance to get to the Zags because that game was postponed, but still, the Bears are playing like a potential champion. Villanova, outside of that one blip in the bubble and their loss to Virginia Tech, Villanova has looked like a title team. And Kansas, they lost to Gonzaga, won at Texas Tech last week, beat Creighton by 1, and then absolutely handled West Virginia. That's your top 4 in Tier 1. Tier 2. Okay, these are teams that easily could look like Elite 8 teams. They're just a notch below at this moment. Wisconsin. The Badgers may be playing the most consistent basketball in the Big Ten. Certainly defensively. Iowa. We don't want to knock them down too far because they lost to the best team in the country in Gonzaga. They didn't make threes in that game. They did against Purdue. The Hawkeyes deserve to be in Tier 2. Texas. Greg Brown is getting going. He's found his rhythm, and that spells trouble for the rest of the Big 12. Texas is right there behind Kansas and Baylor in some order in the Big 12. And Tennessee. The Vols kind of flying a little under the radar because they were on pause at the beginning of the season, but they're still the team to beat in the SEC. All right, Tier 3. These teams have taken on a little bit of water, so we can't put them in Tier 2 or Tier 1 just yet. Illinois. Lost at Rutgers, bounced back to knock off Penn State, dominated Minnesota at home. The Illini are going to be fine. Michigan State. Lost to Northwestern on the road. That's their one blip so far this season. Let's just put that on the side and view that a little bit as an anomaly for the Spartans. Houston. On pause, came back. They got a big challenge coming up against UCF, but they're still in that Tier 3 right now. And Creighton, they're one free throw away from forcing Kansas into overtime at Fog Allen. Yes, I know they lost to Marquette, but the Blue Jays certainly look the part like they'll be the biggest challenger to Villanova. All right, Tier 4. These are my teams trending up, trying to crack that top 25 that we're going to have to pay attention to. They're not ready to be in Tier 3, Tier 2, or Tier 1. But these are teams we have to keep an eye on. I'm starting with Northwestern. The Wildcats, 2-0 in the Big Ten. First time in 15 years. They beat Michigan State at home. Then they win at Indiana. Had they not lost to Pitt in the final possession, I think Northwestern might be ranked next week. We'll wait and see. UCF. The Knights won at Florida State. They've already beaten Auburn. They got a chance to knock off Houston. Pay attention to Johnny Dawkins' UCF Knights. Let's go out west. Boise State. They beat BYU. They swept New Mexico to open the Mountain West. Derek Alston's one of the better players no one is talking about. The Broncos under Leon Rice are going to be a factor out west and challenge San Diego State. And the fourth team, BYU. Yes, they lost to USC. They lost to Boise. They beat rival Utah. They won at San Diego State. BYU, with their new big man, Matt Harms, a transfer from Purdue, Alex Barcelo, who certainly can light it up, kind of like TJ Hawes last season. The Cougars are going to be that one team that could challenge Gonzaga in the WCC.